bad blood between the New York Jets and New England Patriots runs deeper than any other current rivalry in the NFL. Today, the feud continues in a game that has major early season implications in the hotly contested AFC East. Hi everyone, Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. Vinny Testaverde of the New York Jets has struggled all season long to regain the superb form that he showed 2 seasons ago. However, his early exit a week ago from a game due to a pinched nerve in his neck leaves him surrounded by question marks.
Well, Vinny Testaverde last night, we talked to him. He cleared it up for us. There are a lot of question marks surrounding him. He let us know that. If he takes a hit on that left shoulder, the pinched nerve, that can knock him out of the game there. If he falls the wrong way, that could also knock him out of the game. Al Groh knows this, so he let Ray Lucas and Chad Pennington have some snaps in practice this week in case Testaverde goes down.
Meanwhile, that Jets offense has to go against their former defensive coordinator, Bill Belichick, who is now in his first year as the head man of the New England Patriots.
Well, I think Bill Belichick is the story up here. The team is 0-4. He didn't panic. He stayed with what he believed in, and that is the little small things. It was tedious to the team, but they stayed with it. That's why they turned around and won the last 2 games.
Second meeting of the season between these 2 teams. The Jets scored 13 unanswered points in the 4th quarter to win 20-19. The Patriots have won the toss and they have elected to receive. Kevin Falk is deep. John Hall will kick. And we are underway in Foxborough. Bouncing at the 5, Kevin Falk corrals it. 15, 20, dancing to the 25 and knocked down at about the 27-yard line. Gerald Sowell made the tackle. Drew Bledsoe trots onto the field under the gun after 4 straight losses, but has come roaring back the last 2 games.
Well, he's played very solid the last 2 games, Greg. We'll hear this a few times today. The reason why he is playing better, the offensive line has gotten healthy. They're starting to play better as a group. When you do that as an offensive line, it allows the quarterback and the receivers especially to have better stats and to play better in the game.
Falk, the lone back behind Bledsoe. And he gets the handoff, tries the left side, and gets a couple to about the 29-yard line. Roman Pfeiffer makes the tackle. The New England offensive line, Phil.
Well, we talked about it inside, and Druzy, Woody, and Isaiah, they're the reason why they're doing better on offense.
Troy Brown and Terry Glenn have combined for 62 catches, more than 700 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Kevin Falk has the Patriots' only rushing touchdown of the year. Bill Belichick. Boy, the Jets know him well. Falk and Tony Carter are now in the backfield. To give just to Carter. And Carter close to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 5. It'll be 3rd and 2. The Jet defense, a 3-4 defense, begins with Rick Lyle, Jason Ferguson, and Shane Burton up front. Outstanding linebackers in Mo Lewis, Brian Cox, Marvin Jones, and Roman Pfeiffer.
And when you look at the Jet secondary, the guy you got to be alert for, Aaron Glenn, he's the corner. If you're a quarterback, you got to be careful when you throw his way.
Al Groh saw his team jump off to a 4-0 start, stumble at home against the Steelers a week ago. Bledsoe, with time, throws, has his man out of the backfield, Kevin Falk, and he appears to have enough for a first down. Brian Cox coming away with the football, and the Jets say it belongs to them. And they do have it. Brian Cox exercising his will.
Well, I was going to say the one thing, we saw it right there, nice protection for Drew Bledsoe. Look at this, looks outside, looking around inside, and finally finds the running back out of the backfield. And
the ball came out. The ball came out, and Cox fell on the ball.
Rick Lyle, number 95, pulled it out.
38. Pitch to Curtis Martin. One-time New England Patriot, but they gang up on him on the right side. Henry Thomas led the charge. Let's go back to the play.
Watch it. You can see number 95, Rick Lyle, reaches in there. Got his hands on it. A couple of the Jet linebackers, I think Marvin Jones had more to do that with that fumble than Rick Lyle did.
A pickup of a yard on the play. It's 2nd and 9 from the 37-yard line of the Patriots. Testaverde rolling this side now, nowhere to throw it, and he's run out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. We told you about Testaverde leaving on the first offensive play of the game a week ago against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Phil, and lots of questions about him today.
Well, a lot of question mark, Greg, just for the one, all the treatment he received during the week. But Al Grohl told us he practiced well. I watched him in warm-ups today. He threw it. He looks free, like nothing's bothering him. So unless he gets hit, he should remain healthy.
Jets go with 5 wide receivers on 3rd and 4. They need to reach the 29-yard line for a first down. Then he throws near side. That is complete inside the 25-yard line to the rookie Lavernius Coles, and that's enough for a first down. Take a look at the New York Jets offensive line.
Well, the offensive line, it's young, and it does an excellent job of protecting Vinny Testaverde. It's a good-looking offensive line, as you can see, too, Greg.
Not an ugly guy in the bunch.
That's right.
22-yard line, first down for the Jets. They get the big early break from the fumble. Martin dances to about the 20-yard line. Ted Johnson and Larry Wiggum combined. Hey, there's those offensive linemen.
There they are. It's young, it's doing a good job, and it's led by the center, Kevin Mawai.
The Jets would like more from their wide receivers. None has 20 catches yet this season. Curtis Martin has 21 out of the backfield to go with 390 yards rushing.
We saw, Greg, on that first 3rd down completion, Lavernius Coles. He's going to see more action for the Jets, and Vinny Testaverde last night very excited about having this 3rd wide receiver put in his offense.
Testaverde to throw on 2nd and 8. Is hit by about the 27-yard line. Henry Thomas, one of those in on the quarterback. 3rd time this year that Testaverde has been sacked. A look at the New England defense on that last play. 3rd and 14. Martin, room to run. Right side, 20, 15, bumped out of bounds, very close to the first down marker. And from here, it looks like it's a first down.
Well, you always hear when you watch games, you go, well, why would you run it in a situation like this? I tell you why, because it just catches the defense completely off guard. They're looking at Wayne Corbett down the field, trying to get to the quarterback, and all of a sudden it's a running play on 3rd and long, and by the time you recognize it, Curtis Martin down the field to pick up the first down.
You saw the extra DB, Antoine Harris, go flying by as Martin passed him with the ball. Testaverde throws near side, complete to Richie Anderson, and Anderson is out of bounds short of the 5-yard line. Pickup of 6, it'll be 2nd and 4.
Well, I think Vinny Testaverde, talking to him last night, asking him about the first game they had a few weeks ago. He expects the New England defense to be more aggressive and come after him. He says, but they might wait till about the 4th quarter to do that. Well, he was 3 quarters off because they've immediately come out today showing some blitzes and trying to pressure Testaverde and the wide receivers.
New England defense in the red zone has stepped up of late. Curtis Martin up the middle to about the 3, maybe the 2.5-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, Curtis Martin having no success a couple weeks ago running against the Patriots defense. And one of the reasons why, Greg, it's so hard to run the ball against them, because that's what they're built to do, to stop the running game. They're going to let you throw the ball short and underneath and try to make the tackles. But the way they play with the defensive line and the corners, they want to, that's their main focus always, stop your running game.
3rd and 1. Martin, touchdown. Curtis Martin's 3rd touchdown of the season via the ground. He has also scored 2 on pass receptions.
What's a nice job. Watch Curtis Martin. No lead blocker. Anthony Beck comes in. Oh, nice job. Gets Henry Thomas. Kicks him out. Curtis Martin sees the hole. Scores a touchdown.
John Hall for the extra point. Out of the hole by Tom Tupa. And it's good. So the early turnover favors the New York Jets, who score on Curtis Martin's touchdown. They have the early 7-0 lead. The former New England Patriot told you, Phil, that it's always special for him to come back here and play the Patriots.
Well, of course it is. Drafted up here by the Patriots in the 3rd round, and he comes up and gets to play against some of his friends, especially Ty Law.
Kevin Falk takes this one a yard deep in the end zone. To the 15, the 20, running room to the 25 and out to the 29-yard line, and a pretty good return of 29 yards by Kevin Falk, and that's where the Patriots and Drew Bledsoe will go back to work right after this. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms back in Foxborough. Wayne Corbett having a little cut looked at. The word of the day is foliage, Phil. 8:19 to play first quarter. Falk and Carter behind Drew Bledsoe on first down for the Patriots. And Bledsoe gives to Falk. Gets little or nothing on the play. Brian Cox with the tackle. And for the first time today, we check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You know, that touchdown by the Jets is a major boost in more ways than one. You'd think with a 4-1 record, they'd be feeling very confident. Not so, says Brian Cox. He said all the problems this week, Testaverde, the questions about his neck, the poor performance by Ray Lucas, and really some criticism by the coaching staff of the offense, left this team in a very...
All right, Armin, thanks. We'll get back to more of that 2nd and 10. No gain on the play as Bledsoe, now without a back in the backfield, faces the blitz, popped up in the air, intercepted. Victor Green going to go for the touchdown. Mo Lewis tipped it. Victor Green caught it and returned it.
Well, the Jets bring more blitzers than New England can pick up. Drew Bledsoe sees it. Watch Victor Green come to the outside. Nobody there. Mo Lewis free. Mo Lewis knocks it in the air. Victor Green picks it up.
And 21 yards later, the Jets are up by 2 touchdowns. The crowd quiet, to say the least, here in Foxborough. John Hall's extra point attempt is good, and lightning strikes twice in a hurry for the New York Jets, who now lead at 14-0.
Well, watch what happens when Drew Bledsoe, there's a touchdown ball. Here comes Victor Green and Mo Lewis. Drew Bledsoe sees the blitz. He sees the wide open receiver, but cannot get it over the blitzers because the timing and the players are so quick. Drew Bledsoe can't react to it to get the football to the open tight end.
Victor told us last night, I've got to play well today for us to win. I don't know if he had that in mind. Kevin Falk, a couple of yards deep in the end zone, and is going to run into trouble short of the 15-yard line. Goes down in a heap, led by Scott Frost, number 47. Great views you're seeing on the play and on the field, being brought to us today by Monster.com's blimp, Trump. Monster.com operates 2 blimps in the U.S. This blimp, 165 feet long, 55 feet tall, and when empty, weighs over 5,500 pounds. And you can read more details about Monster.com's blimps on their site. New York Jets scoring 14 points in 55 seconds to take a 14-0 lead here in the first quarter, and Drew Bledsoe with his work cut out for him. Overthrows Kevin Falk, his receiver on the near side of the field. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, Drew Bledsoe saw the Jets couldn't line up, had nobody covering Kevin Falk, but he gets rid of the football so fast that he lost control of it and threw it over his head. You know, this Patriots offense, Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, they'd like to be patient. Even though they don't run the football for great average and good yardage, they still stick it up in there just to keep the rhythm of the game slow. But I think being down 14-0 is going to pick it up.
Bledsoe throws, got his man. That's complete to Terry Glenn, and Glenn is out of bounds for a first down. 29-yard pickup on the play.
Well, that ought to make Terry Glenn a little happy. Finds a nice spot in his own. Look at that. Aaron Glenn sees a short receiver. He comes off of him. Terry Glenn wide open down the field. And the one thing that Terry Glenn told us on Friday, he goes, man, I want to go down the field more. I want to catch some big balls down there. And I agree. He has a chance to score every time he touches it.
Bledsoe to throw again. Under the gun. Eludes a tackler, tries to run, and is brought down at about the 47-yard line of the Patriots. Picked up 3 on the play. Mo Lewis was the man after him. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Well, one of the biggest surprises to me this year, well, maybe not a big surprise, but what's different with Drew Bledsoe, that play illustrated the fact that he's moving around a little more in the pocket. He's a little more conscious when things are not there to go ahead and try to pick up a few yards and keep the situations better.
On 2nd and 7.
He's expecting blitz.
Bledsoe going to go down the field. Incomplete. Terry Glenn and Aaron Glenn, and there's a penalty flag down at about the 20-yard line. Our referee today is Johnny Greer.
Pass interference, number 31, defense.
One of the things that Terry Glenn also said Friday, Phil, was that he likes the matchup with Aaron Glenn.
Well, he likes going against Terry Glenn. Now, the one thing he knows, anytime Aaron Glenn is up in that position where he's right next to him in the line of scrimmage like that time, it's going to be a blitz by the defense. He has a chance to go deep. The play's on. Bledsoe did an excellent job of changing things to give himself time to throw it down the field.
Patriots have been red hot in the red zone. Bledsoe to throw again. Time. Throws it out here in the flat to Falk. Falk dancing at the 15 down to about the 12. Marvin Jones, number 55, with the tackle for the Jets. It'll be 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard gain.
Well, you know, too, Greg, you got to laugh when you watch games, or you smile when you see how they unfold sometimes. And when we were talking to Brian Cox, I said, well, you know, this New England offense, the first time you played it, it went 5 yards here and 6 yards there. And Brian goes, hey, we know Charlie Weiss. He's impatient. He's going to look for big plays this time down the field, and he was right.
Straight ahead for very little is Kevin Falk. We'll call it a 2-yard gain, and the Patriots are looking at a 3rd and 1.
You know, also, talk. What was Brian Cox's, what did he say? We know them. They know us.
So there are no secrets out there.
There's no secrets out there.
The cheers are for Michael Bishop, who comes in on 3rd and 1 for Drew Bledsoe at quarterback. 1 pass, 1 44-yard touchdown this season.
Going to hand this one off.
Carter. And Carter with a 1st down.
So you got to keep the defense honest when you bring in Michael Bishop. You got to bring him in, and they did it last week. He just got to hand the football off, because you got everybody looking outside for him to keep it or him to roll, to throw the football. So when you hand it off, the defense is not quite as tough inside. That enables you maybe to pick up some 3rd and 1s. Of course, there's many more plays in this offense for Michael Bishop. We saw quite a few of them on Friday, so when they come in with him, maybe we can tell you what's going to happen.
1st and goal. The pitch for Falk, right side to the 5. Brian Cox, Ernie Logan on the stop.
Well, if you're Kevin Falk, you just got to make your mind up every game you come in and you're going to play that it's going to be rough. There's never really big, wide open holes for him to run into. That play, perfect example, just has to fit himself in between some defenders and pick up some tough yards.
The clock continues to move. 3:45 to play in the 1st quarter. This is the 8th play of the drive. Bledsoe to throw. Plenty of time. Throws incomplete at about the 1-yard line. Troy Brown is intended receiver. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Probably the toughest spot. Well, I know it's the toughest spot to throw against either one of these teams. Once you get inside the 10-yard line, the defenders are going to drop back. They're going to space themselves out. They're going to watch the quarterback and react to what he does. So when you do throw it in the end zone, you got to put something on it. Drew Bledsoe did that time.
J.R. Redmond and Tony Carter are 2 of the 5 receivers for Bledsoe. comes the blitz. Bledsoe gets rid of it, incomplete. And Brian Cox was right in on him.
New England showed 5 wide receivers quite a few times the first time they played. The Jets are ready for it. Brian Cox and the blitz on the outside. Nobody can pick him up because there's so many receivers outside. That makes Bledsoe get rid of the football before any receiver can get open.
For the field goal attempt, Adam Vinatieri from 23 yards out. And it's good. So the Patriots don't come away empty-handed. They put 3 on the board, and they trail 14-3. Welcome back to Foxborough. It's a hunting party, Phil.
Yes.
10 plays, 81 yards, resulting in a 23-yard field goal by Vinatieri, who will kick it away now. Dwight Stone is deep, along with Kevin Williams, whose 33-yard average on kickoff returns leads the NFL. This one's short, and this is Williams. Across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. And we'll take a timeout, and then Vinny Testaverde goes back to work. Jets with the football, first down at their own 32-yard line. 5 wide receivers right out of the gate for the Jets and Vinny Testaverde. Down the middle and just behind Lavernius Coles. Well, before air traffic control switched his frequency, we were hearing from Armin Katayan a little while ago. Let's check back with him. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. As I was saying before I got so suddenly interrupted, despite that 4-1 record, Brian Cox said the team was in a very fragile emotional state this week. Obviously, these 2 touchdowns and be able to stop the team and only hold them to a field goal for the Patriots has really helped. You can sense it on the sideline. The Jets are very confident right now. Back to you.
All right, Armin, thanks. 2nd and 10. Martin, left side. Turns the corner and out of bounds across the 35 at about the 37 or 38-yard line.
You know, Greg, it's interesting what Armin said. Brian Cox told us the team lacked energy. Well, that's pretty common with any team that loses for the first time. It just takes something out of you. And also, Al Groh, he coached under Bill Parcells for many years. Now, when you play bad, he's not one of these guys that comes up to you and pats you on the shoulder and says, "It's okay, son, it'll be better." He tells you, you played bad, so you've got to accept the criticism, be a man about it, go on.
3rd and 3. Over the middle, incomplete, and Richie Anderson was wide open.
You know, Richie Anderson, you just got to know the situation and what's going on. Watch him as he comes out of the backfield. Nobody is covering him. Well, I'll take that back. He was looking at the quarterback. I thought he wasn't looking at Testaverde. He did look. Testaverde just led him too far.
Tom Tupa on to kick it away. Troy Brown is deep, and he is tied for the #1 spot in the National Football League in punt returns with a 17.9-yard average. He's returned 1 for a touchdown, 66 yards this season. Good kick by Tupa. Bounces at the goal line and bounces into the end zone for the touchback. 61-yard punt by Tupa. Friday on CBS. Tim Daly, Michael T. Williamson star in the new hit drama critics call a lean action machine. Don't miss The Fugitive, an all-new episode Friday at 8, 7 Central Time on CBS. So Bledsoe and the Patriots go back to work at their own 20-yard line. Word from the sideline, the rookie tight end Anthony Beck of the New York Jets has suffered a sprained knee, and his return is questionable at this point. J.R. Redmond and Tony Carter in the backfield. Bledsoe to throw and won't get it off. Goes down at the 8-yard line under the pass rush of Rick Lyle, his first sack of the season.
Well, I thought the Patriots had this pass protection thing figured out. but so far today, it's been a little rough inside. Rick Lau, just a terrific move right from the start. Grant Williams, the right tackle. He beats him off the snap of the football. That enables him to get an edge and get into the face of Drew Bledsoe.
You know, we aren't even out of the first quarter yet, Phil. There have been so many swings back and forth as far as emotion on the field. Loss of 9 on the play, 2nd and 19. Bledsoe over the middle, has his man, Troy Brown, to the 20, out to the 22-yard line. A pickup of 11, and it'll be 3rd and 8.
We had a chance to talk to Troy Brown on Friday too, and it was interesting. He goes, I said, well, are you excited about your new role on the football team? And he goes, well, of course I'm excited. It's taken me 8 years to get to this position to finally be a starting receiver and to be a main part of the passing game. So taking nothing for granted, hard worker, and he's done a good job taking advantage of a situation.
Comes in with 28 catches for 315 yards. Bledsoe, far side, complete. Tony Carter, and Carter out of bounds, short of the first down. And that'll force the Patriots to kick it away.
Well, that's a nice play by James Ferrier, seeing where the first yard marker was. Watch him as he comes out. It looks like it's going to be a first down. Bledsoe looks down the field. Number 58, James Ferrier, knows he has to deliver a good shot, gets him, pushes him out, ends up being short of the first down.
Dedrick Ward is back for the kick from Lee Johnson. Line drive kick. Ward will return this from the 33. But not far, up to the 35-yard line. Harold Shaw with the tackle, and we remind you, coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report, join Jim Nantz, Mike Ditka, Craig James for all scores and highlights. That's coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report.
Well, Greg, I think it's been a good start for Vinny Testaverde today. No disasters, getting the team out that's, a 14-0 lead. And it was really interesting. All the controversy maybe this week, is he going to play or not? And we talked to him. We had to laugh when he walked out. It's like he cleared nothing up. He let it be known that if I get hit or fall the wrong way, that I'll probably be out of the game because the pinched nerve will come back.
Curtis Martin makes the cut, has running room, has a first down across the 45-yard line to about the 47. Larry Wiggum brought him down, and some nice blocking out in front of Curtis Martin.
Excellent blocking. New England blitzes. They take a chance. That's why the running lane was outside. But watch it as you go up. You're going to see pressure on the quarterback. Ted Johnson coming in, trying to stop an inside run or a pass. Curtis Martin goes outside. That's the weak spot of the defense.
Let's go.
And before they can get another playoff, time will run down here in the first quarter. Look at Vinny Testaverde, whose team is up 14-3. Curtis Martin with 7 carries for 42 yards, leading the way for the New York Jets. That's the end of the first quarter. The Jets. The former Patriot Curtis Martin with 47 yards in the first meeting between these two teams already has 42 today and a touchdown in 7 carries.
And the reason is, if the Patriots play very conservative, it's hard to run the football on them. Today, so far, being aggressive, trying to take control of the game, they've opened up some running lanes for Curtis Martin.
Testaverde, play fake, time, pulls it down. Is that a fumble?
That's a fumble.
Patriots say they have the football. And they do. Bobby Hamilton, number 91, fell on the ball.
Bobby Hamilton, the ex-Jet. This time the Patriots play pass coverage. They drop people back, and look, Testaverde looking down the field, cannot find anybody, and Chris Slade in there with Greg Spires both hit Testaverde and caused him to fumble. Greg Spires, the guy that for New England the last couple of weeks has really done a terrific job rushing the passer.
From the 45, J.R. Redmond, left side. Well, if turnovers are any indication, this is good news for the New England Patriots, because turnovers are what have the Jets on top in this game from the first quarter. Kevin Falk fumbled. Brian Cox recovered. And then on the tip ball, Victor Green took it 21 yards for a touchdown. So now the Patriots have their first turnover of the day. 2nd and 8 from the 48-yard line of the Jets. Bledsoe on the roll, throws. At the sideline. That's incomplete.
You think?
I think.
All right, now they rule it incomplete.
Terry Glenn made an outstanding effort on the near side.
This is such a tough throw for Drew Bledsoe. Why he waits just a little bit, and I can see why they hesitated now, Greg. From way up here, it looked like Glenn never made the catch. Gets it in, not able to get his second foot down.
So it'll be 3rd and 8.
But a tough throw for a quarterback, sprinting to his right, trying to hit a receiver that's going out of bounds.
On the blitz. Incomplete. Bledsoe hits the turf.
Well, Drew wants a late hit on the quarterback. It's not close. John Abraham, the Patriots keep spreading their offense out, and the Jets have the answers. From the top, nobody blocking a defensive lineman or a linebacker. Abraham, you got to know where he's at. Maybe the best pass rusher the New York Jets have.
So this is one turnover the Patriots failed to take advantage of. Johnson to kick it to Dedrick Ward. Ward calling for the fair catch and makes the catch at about the 15-yard line. 29-yard punt. Testaverde will come back to work and try to make amends for the fumble. Jets break the huddle with 14 minutes to play here in the second quarter. 4 sacks allowed through the first 5 games. Testaverde has hit the deck twice today. On first down, they give it to Martin. Martin left side out to about the 19-yard line. And Curtis Martin climbs up off the turf. Meanwhile, we'll keep an eye on Vinny Testaverde, who has undergone all kinds of treatment over the past week, which includes massage therapy, acupuncture, got a shot of cortisone in his neck.
Well, Testaverde, big, you know, Greg, it's always talked about the quarterback, but the thing is, he missed last year. Everybody wants him to come back and be the quarterback he was in '98. That was probably a career year for Vinny Testaverde. I don't think he's ever going to match that season again.
Martin again. Across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Let's check in with Armin Gatayan again. Armin.
Greg, you know, you talk about all that treatment. It's basically this bulging disc in his neck is pressing on a nerve there, and it's keeping his left arm numb right down into his fingers. And that last series on the sideline, he was squeezing that left hand, kind of hidden behind a towel, trying to get some feeling back into that arm. So let's keep a close eye on him. Back to you.
All right, Armin. You know what Al Groh was telling us yesterday, Phil, he's not ever going to have a season like that again. Al Groh insists that he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. He says when you evaluate Vinny Testaverde, no matter what the situation in the game, he physically can make any throw, and that's how you want to judge a quarterback.
3rd and 3. Over the middle, incomplete. His intended receiver, number 85, Jermaine Wiggins, the tight end.
And there is nobody open down the field. I think the New England Patriots feel very confident in covering the wide receivers of the Jets. They're pressuring them, and they're making Testaverde look for the tight end in the back, short passes, instead of going down the field longer to the wide receivers.
Their last 3 drives, the Jets have garnered just 1 first down. Troy Brown stands at his own 30 for the punt from Tupa. Drifts back to his 23. 30, 40, and down at about the 43-yard line. Fine return by Troy Brown to give the Patriots good field position when we come back. Well, New England has the ball at their own 44-yard line. They had one really terrific drive, and the rest of the time they have pretty much stuttered. As you can see, a total of 11 plays, 21 yards. Those other 4 drives each lasted less than 2 minutes. Bledsoe eludes one rush. Penalty flags are down in the backfield, and this looks like holding against New England.
And that most likely is going to be Bruce Armstrong against John Abraham. And I don't know if you know the name John Abraham, but you're going to learn it. Number 94 for the Jets.
Holding, 78, offense. It's decline. Second down.
There's John Abraham. The penalty is on Bruce Armstrong.
Well, let's watch him here. At the top of your screen, Bruce Armstrong, John Abraham. John Abraham is just so fast. Look at that. Gets right around the corner. Bruce Armstrong, hey, he's seen every pass rusher in the league for the last 12, 13 years. It's John Abraham. I tell you, you got to double team him when he's out there if you think it's to keep him away from the quarterback.
Jason Ferguson gets credit for the sack. In the backfield, Kevin Falk trying to elude tacklers and may have gotten 2 on the play. We'll call it 3rd and long.
Well, you know, we were talking to Al Groh last night about John Abraham, the defensive end or linebacker for the New York Jets, and he says, hey, he got a good lesson last week. You know, the secret is up. Everybody watches the film. They know what he can do now. In Pittsburgh last week, used the running back, the extra lineman. They double teamed the whole game, and it was a brand new experience for him getting double teamed.
Bledsoe with time, going to go deep far side. His man is wide open. It is complete inside the 15-yard line. Tony Simmons out of bounds at about the 10. That's a 46-yard play and first down for New England.
Well, the play took so long that Aaron Glenn, number 31, was like going, I wonder where the football is. He slowed up, looked back at the quarterback. Tony Simmons keeps running. That's what created the space, and a terrific throw by Drew Bledsoe.
Kevin Falk alone back in the backfield, 1st and goal. Falk, right side, touchdown. Either that was blocked really well or the Jets just weren't ready.
The Jets were not ready. Look to the outside. The Jets are playing pass. A draw play on 1st down catches them by surprise. No safeties, no linebackers. Falk goes in untouched.
Vinatieri with the extra point. It is good. 10:44 to play here in the first half. The New England Patriots have jumped right back into this thing. 14-10, Jets lead. Only the 2nd rushing touchdown of the season for the New England Patriots, and their first in the last 110 attempts on the ground. The key play, the 46-yard play, Bledsoe downfield. Kevin Williams deep for the kickoff. Williams from the 5. To about the 24-yard line, maybe the 25. And let's go back to that pass play.
Well, look what happens. Here's Tony Simmons, and watch Aaron Glenn on the outside. You can tell he's in good position. Tony Simmons comes out. He's way ahead of him, and watch him. So there he is. He slows down because he thinks Drew Bledsoe is going to throw to the receiver short and to the outside. Instead, he goes deep. Now, once you slow down and you got a guy like Tony Simmons running down the field, you are not going to catch up.
That would be a cool breeze in October going by you. Testaverde just 2 of 5 so far today. Phil, do you think that shows some kind of a lack of confidence in the way Vinny Testaverde can throw the ball so far today?
No, not at all, Greg. I just think the situations have been tough, and the pass rush has been getting back there pretty quick.
Testaverde will throw here. Going to throw downfield. It is incomplete, overthrown. There's a penalty marker down in the middle of the field. Dedrick Ward, the intended receiver, and Lawyer Malloy was along with him. Wayne Corbett bent over at the 40-yard line, now getting up and walking back.
Yeah, Wayne Corbett going against Ty Law. And I couldn't tell what he did to Corbett. Maybe he got his hands to the face.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 24, defense.
What's Ty Law against Wayne Corbett? He's got his hand on the face mask once, twice. see what hurt Wayne Corbett, because he did bend over after the play, act like he was hurt.
First down at the 30-yard line. Martin for a couple to the 32. You know, in that previous long pass, Phil, Dedrick Ward downfield, and that was a safety. Lawyer Malloy right with him, and the New England Patriots feel that Lawyer Malloy can just run with anybody on the field.
Well, a lot of people do, Greg, and yes, Lawyer Malloy playing a little different this year, not playing always up near the line of scrimmage, blitzing and trying to make the tackles in the running game. He's so gifted, he's so athletic, that if you put 3 wide receivers in, they just put him on one of them and say, you got him all over the field.
Martin, room to run, 40, 45. That'll be a first down for the Jets.
Well, that's a nice job. The Jets and the Patriots both, they kind of try to surprise you with the running game. They give you formations. You think it's going to be a pass, and they both run the draw quite a few times in the game. And that time, Curtis Martin, Richie Anderson, look at the block inside on Teddy Bruschi. And if you also notice, Curtis Martin, almost all of his yards so far today have been gained going to the left to the Patriots' right side.
66 yards on the ground for Martin today so far. Straight ahead, all kinds of room. Across the 45 to about the 43-yard line of the Patriots, and that's another first down.
Well, you can kind of tell how the league has changed. It used to be draw plays were like second down or things like that when you were trying to catch the defense by surprise. But so much passing goes on in the NFL now that draw plays on first down may be the best time to run them in. Didn't pull the ump, though. He was right on it. Did you see that? He saw Curtis all the way.
From the 43, the Jets on the move now. Pitch to Martin. And that one, look trouble from the word go. The pitch was high. Martin slipped on the cutback, lost 3 on the play.
Well, the Jets trying to fake like they're going to go outside. They're going to come back inside. It's a counter play, but Ted Johnson reads it, gets penetration, and stops it. Watch, Curtis Martin, he's going to cut this back. Don't see that too often. Most of the time when the quarterback pitches it to a running back, it's going to be a sweep to the outside.
Every play on this drive has been a Curtis Martin carry. Testaverde throws that incomplete. Royce is caught at the 40-yard line. Now it is ruled incomplete. Right past Richie Anderson.
Well, it's just happening too quick for the running backs, and Testaverde just feels a little pressure, gets rid of the football, throws it too hard, goes past Richie Anderson, and Fred Baxter cannot catch the tip. And he throws it behind him. He's open again.
Testaverde over his last 4 attempts, and now looks at a 3rd and 13. Testaverde throws, has his man over the middle, and that's Baxter, but Baxter will be short of a first down at the 38-yard line. And a penalty marker is down deep downfield. It's against New England.
Illegal contact, number 38, defense. First down.
Antonio Langham. And that's a break for the Jets. It is a first down for New York at the New England 41.
Well, the way New England's playing, they're going to have to live with a couple of those today. They are challenging, I said it, Greg, earlier, they are challenging the Jet wide receivers. They are not getting open. The man-to-man coverage by the New England secondary has been terrific so far.
Corbett in motion. Testaverde steps up, flips it to Martin out of the backfield. Martin gets a first down inside the 30-yard line, or right at the 30. Ty Law forced him out, but it's a Jet first down.
2 things are working for the Jets offense. Draw plays, catching the defense off guard, and short passes underneath. Looking for the running backs. Good job by Testaverde, just taking something off the pass and making it easy for Curtis Martin to catch it.
Well, Jet wide receivers Dedrick Ward and Wayne Corbett have been covered like a blanket. Neither has a reception yet today. So the Jets have gone elsewhere. Lavernius Cole. And Cole to about the 26-yard line. Cole's the rookie out of Florida State, the Jets' third-round draft pick, and as you said earlier, Vinny Testaverde said he just might be. He's right up there with Marcus Coleman as one of the best athletes on the team.
Yeah, that's right. You can see 5'11", 190. He's got some size, which I think the Jets need at the wide receiver position. But Testaverde also, he plays big and he can make those tough catches. The one thing he's just got to do, he's got to have more playing time to get used to making the catches in tough situations.
On the blitz, they give us to Martin, and Martin goes nowhere. Lawyer Malloy was right up there with the stop, a loss of 3, and it'll be 3rd and 9.
You know, Greg, we talked about how tough the New England defense is trying to play the wide receivers for the Jets. And look at this. It's a blitz, penetration, nowhere for a running back to go. But we talked to Al Groh. He seemed kind of confident about his wide receivers, especially when they go against Ty Law. He thought they beat Ty Law in the first game, all the receivers, but so far they have not challenged him today.
9th play of this drive. Testaverde throws far sideline. That is complete to Coles. And Coles is short of a first down. And there was Ty Law.
But just as we talk about, but I got to tell you what, if you can throw and catch in those tight situations, then you're just a better man, because that was a tough throw by Testaverde, a nice catch, and Ty Law was all over the pass route.
Ty Law been taking a little grief around here this week because people have been bringing up the kind of numbers. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Tupa is the quarterback.
He's calling out the play right now.
4th and due. The pitch is to Mo Lewis. And Lewis appears to have enough for the first down.
Well, both of these teams know this situation. Bill Belichick has seen this by the Jets, or when he was with the Giants, or New England many, many times. Tom Tupa comes in, they see the defense, they check out to the play that they think is going to give them the best chance to pick up a first down. And how about that? Mo Lewis as the running back. And I said this a few weeks ago, they call this situation a wrap-a-hole, and it stands for a run, a pass, a hit on the enemy. So it can do a variety of different plays. The defense dictates what they're going to call.
Testaverde gives to Martin. And Martin stopped dead at the 19-yard line. Chris Slade and Henry Thomas led the charge. A pickup of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, that was something Al Groh, he figured, hey, catch the defense by surprise. Instead of using my offense, it's almost like New England would do when they bring in, let's watch the play again. It's a pitch outside. That is great. Mo Lewis got a lead blocker. He made a good read, plows it up in there.
On 2nd and 9, Corbett in motion. Testaverde with time, throws this side. Corbett has it at about the 15-yard line.
Testaverde pass complete to Wayne Corbett.
Clock continues to move, coming up on 3.5 to play in the first half.
You know, Greg, I was going to say on that 4th down, that is the Jets' way of almost doing what New England does with Michael Bishop. They bring him in for some special plays. They don't really do that. So they bring him in, catch the defense off guard, make them think, and get a play in there that helps them pick up a big first down.
Talk about trick plays. How about the one New England pulled with the punter Lee Johnson? The fake field goal and threw the pass to Eric Bjorkson. Play clock is down to 5. And Vinny Testaverde calls timeout and stops the clock with 3 minutes to play. It'll be 3rd and 5 inside the 15-yard line when we come back. 3 minutes to play here in the first half, along with Armin Katay and Phil Simms, Greg Gumbel in Foxborough, where the Jets are threatening. They lead 14-10. 13th play of this drive. A Pats penalty on 3rd and 13 helped them out, and then they converted a 4th and 2. Testaverde throws, has inside the 10-yard line. Richie Anderson. It'll be 1st and goal for the Jets.
Well, Richie Anderson, good job going against Lawyer Malloy. But let's watch Ty Law and Wayne Corbett. There have been a lot of fights going on out there, a lot of hands, and boy. Yes, I understand, Wayne. I would complain too.
Both teams 123 total yards. Testaverde has now completed 5 straight passes. Martin, left side, 5, touchdown.
To the left side again, Curtis Martin. This might be the first time I've really seen all day long where the Jets just lined up and said, we're just going to run it right at you and see if we can block you and make some positive yards. All the other runs have been draws, misdirection, deception. That time they just beat them to the punch blocking.
John Hall for the extra point. With 2:11 to play here in the first half, 75-yard drive put the Jets up, 21-10. For Monster.com, and you can read more details about Monster.com's blimps on their website.
Well, anytime you run the football successfully in the National Football League, wide receivers must be good blockers too, and this is the way Wayne Corbett can pay back Ty Law for holding him on the previous play. And also, anytime a running back can get to the outside, you got to know most likely the tight end has done a good job of sustaining the outside guy on defense, and that time the Jets did it on the outside.
From the 5-yard line, Tony Simmons to the 25, to the 29-yard line, and Gerald Soule with the tackle. 25-yard return.
You know, Greg, you go back to that previous drive of the Jets. They get a holding penalty on 4th down. That keeps the drive going. Al Groh decides to go with the 4th down decision with Tom Tupa at quarterback. And I'll never forget, Fritz Shermer, the late defensive coordinator who was up at Green Bay and Seattle, says, oh, 3rd down penalties. And I said, why are they so big? He says, because you are giving the offense 3 more plays. And when you give them 3 more plays, it always leads to something to points. And that drive really illustrated it by the Jets against the Patriots.
Bledsoe incomplete on 1st down, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. Pass intended for Eric Bjornsson. It's incomplete. We'll take the 2-minute break. 21-10. Jets lead the Patriots. Coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report, join Jim Nance, Mike Ditka, Craig James. All the scores and highlights coming up on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. 2 minutes to play here in Foxborough. 2nd and 10 for New England, and Bledsoe and the Patriots go with 5 wide receivers. Over the middle. That one's complete to Troy Brown, and Brown, shaking a couple of tacklers, gets a 1st down and is out of bounds across the 40-yard line. 12-yard pickup on the play, stops the clock with 1:52.
Boy, I am just not. If I was New England, I wouldn't be crazy about this 5 wide receivers, because it just looks like Bledsoe's always on the verge of catastrophe, because the pass rushers, when you see 5 wide receivers, those defensive linemen know that it's most likely going to be one-on-one, and they are very close to getting to the quarterback every time.
Bacon to Falk, and now the pass is incomplete. How many times in our meetings the last couple of days did we hear the term dink and dunk?
Yeah.
And except for a long completion by Drew Bledsoe, which led to a score, it's been a lot of dinking and dunking here.
Well, that's almost how you have to do a lot of things in the league now, Greg, because of the pass rush, all the things you see on defense. And offenses, you move people around, you try to get the defense moving and thinking, and when you do, sometimes you throw those short passes, they lead to big gains.
2nd and 10. And again, the 5 wide set for New England. Comes the blitz. Quick pass, complete to Brown, and Brown knocked down at about the 49-yard line. Clock continues to move. coming up on him at 35.
Well, that was a good case in point. 5 wide receivers, the Jets blitz. Hey, nice play by Drew Bledsoe and Troy Brown, but it was close to being, it could have been the other way too. The ball hit up in the air, could have been intercepted.
Bledsoe steps up, shakes the tackle, completes the pass. That'll be close to a first down. Eric Bjornsson, his tight end. And that is very close to a first down.
Offside. 56. Defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. First down.
Roman Pfeiffer. So that moves the ball now to the Jets' 46-yard line. New England with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Bledsoe loses the football, picked up by the Jets. Abraham forced the fumble, and that may be Sean Ellis with the football.
I'll tell you what, this John Abraham, we said it earlier, look to the top of your screen, go see him coming around. That time, Abraham against Eric Bjornsson, a tight end. Now, if Bruce Armstrong can't block him, I know Bjornsson can't block him. And we saw when I was getting ready for this game, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just lined up and said, you're not going to beat us, John Abraham. They had a running back hit him as he went out for passes. They double-teamed him with offensive linemen. And I guarantee you, the New England, when they go in at halftime, they're going to change the way they block him in the second half, too.
48-yard line. And the Jets have 70 seconds to try to improve on their lead.
Illegal formation.
Testaverde throws complete. Richie Anderson out of the backfield, diving for the first down, and he may have it. What'd you say, ref?
I said, well, it's should have worn my striped shirt today, but they did not have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. Curtis Martin went out there, did not get up on the line of scrimmage, but I guess, well, they let it go.
Clock continues to move, 45 seconds to play. 2nd and 1 from the 33. Jets have 2 timeouts remaining. Fake to Martin, give it to Corbett coming this way with blockers. The 30, the 25, and as he smacked down, and a Jet is down and injured and holding his knee. And jumping up in a hurry is number 68, Kevin Mawai. 19 seconds on the clock. The Jets burn a timeout, and we'll be right back. Let's take a look at Wayne Corbett coming around on the reverse.
Here he comes around. It's a good call in a situation like this. You're trying to find a way to get some extra yards to at least guarantee yourself a chance at a field goal. And hey, Otis Smith, one of his ex-teammates, gets a pretty good lick in on him there.
Jets with 1 timeout remaining now. From the 26-yard line, first down. Martin to about the 20. And the clock continues to move, 10 seconds. And now they stop the clock with 10 seconds to play in the first half. Well, Bill Belichick's defenses have been renowned for being able to stop big rushers. Look at what Curtis Martin has done today, 81 yards as we approach halftime.
Well, so much of what Curtis Martin has done running the football today, Greg, has been draw plays. You're being aggressive trying to get to the quarterback. The draw plays are going to be open a lot of times. Look, another draw, breaks it to the outside, picks up big yardage. Then they just line up, they do the sweep to the left, and good blocking by the tight end, Fred Baxter. But you hear it so much, hey, if we run the ball 20 sometimes, we usually win the game. But what that tells you, what the Jets are doing too, they're winning the battle physically up front. And when you win the battle up front physically, that enables your running back, quarterbacks, and receivers, what gives them a chance to have success.
John Hall from 38 yards out. Gets it away. and it is good. So the Jets take advantage, and with 5 seconds to play, improve their lead to 24-10.
Well, the snap's a little high. Good job by Tom Tupa. Gets it down. It's something that's it doesn't happen too many times up here in Foxborough. It's not windy today, so they have to worry about where the wind is going to blow the football.
We still have another half to play.
Yeah, but it's nice and cloudy. Trust me, see, I know these things, Greg. When you're an ex-quarterback, you get very good at reading the sky and feeling how things. When it's cloudy like this or a little overcast, it usually means that it's not going to be windy.
17 New York Jets points off of the New England turnovers today, and they're up 24-10. You know, you burst one of my favorite stories. You said there was no truth at all to the rumor about the Giants opening a door at one end of Giant Stadium when opponents were about to kick.
Not true. Yeah, it never happened.
And you said it with a straight face.
Yeah, well, it is. Hey, we played a playoff game once down at Giant Stadium. The Minnesota Vikings hired security to make sure the gates weren't let up and down. I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody goes into these stories are myths.
Falk and J.R. Redmond deep for the kickoff, and this is Falk from the 10. 25 to the 27-yard line, and that will do it for the first half. Dwayne Gordon makes the tackle. It has been a first half of mistakes by the New England Patriots, and the New York Jets have been opportunistic on the road. 17 points off of 3 New England turnovers, and they've made the most of their opportunities. Curtis Martin has had himself a big first half, 81 yards rushing. Well on his way to a 100-yard day. Our halftime score, 24-10 coming up. We'll be sending you to New York for the NASDAQ.com halftime report. Jim, Mike, and Craig get you caught up on all the NFL news, scores, and highlights after these messages from your local station.
The Sports presentation of the NASDAQ.com halftime report is sponsored by NASDAQ.com, the information source for the serious investor.
And hi, friends. Jim Nance with you on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. Welcome to our NFL Today studios off 5th Avenue in New York. Mike Ditka and Craig James are alongside, and the Jets got it going early here, CJ, lead by that 14-point margin.
Big turnover there with Victor Martin going down and scoring for those guys. Victor Green, rather. You know, this is really a game, in my mind right now, where the Jets underneath are doing a nice job of running the football with Curtis Martin. And Vinny Testaverde's not throwing the ball deep, which makes me think that the Patriots are deep, and they're giving him the underneath pass. With a bad neck like that, man, I'd ask him to throw it deep and let a floater go.
Curtis Martin with 2 touchdowns, and the Jets lead it by 14. Elsewhere around the league, Colts and the Seahawks in a shootout out in Washington, and Edger and James.
Oh,
big numbers here, Mike.
Unbelievable. 118 yards in the first. Watch this run. Breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, pulls 2 guys down the sideline into the end zone. 118 yards in the first half.
And 2 touchdowns. But Brock Purdy, named the starter a week ago, was ineffective at Carolina, but he's thrown 2 touchdowns, his first 2 NFL touchdown passes, to bring the Seahawks within 3, halftime out in Washington. Meanwhile, the Broncos, twice Greasy has hooked up with Rod Smith, and, well, Tim Couch and the Browns trying to get their footing straight out in the Mile High City.
Tighten them up, right? Hey, here's the rookie tight end. Aaron Shea catching a nice little ball down the middle of the field, ties the game up at 3. But the Broncos, Brian Greasy is so intelligent. They've got the big play working for them today. Here, a 22-yard pass to Rod Smith with a touchdown, put them up 10-3. But really, the story is Brian Greasy and the big plays.
Meanwhile, San Francisco and Green Bay tied at 7. The 49ers Garner with a beautiful catch, 39-yard touchdown catch to tie it. Eagles all over Arizona, and the Cardinals have gone 23 games without scoring an offensive touchdown in the first quarter. What's going on with that? Earlier today, the Redskins got the game's only touchdown. The Ravens' 3rd straight game without finding the end zone. Here was the score, Mike, right here.
Stephen Davis with a beautiful stiff arm, and he's into the end zone. That's all they needed.
He had only 2 yards rushing in the first half, Davis, 89 in the second half, and the game's only touchdown. The Steelers have won 3 in a row, shutting out Cincinnati. The Bengals fall to 0-6.
Bill Cowher decides to start Kent Graham at quarterback. He sits Cordell Stewart down, who'd won the previous 2 ball games. Second play of the game, Hines Ward, boom! No to the legs, no tackling whatsoever. But give him credit, too. Nice run there behind Ward, 77 yards. The bus, Jerome Bettis, over 100 yards on the ground, and the Steelers win again.
Keely Smith wasn't getting it done, so Scott Mitchell came in, completed 6 passes, but 2 of them to the other team. The Raiders prevail. They come back from 10 down at halftime to beat the Chiefs. The Gerback had it going right before the half.
Got it the ball to Tony Gonzalez, who gets it in the end zone. They get one to Richardson. I tell you what, this was unbelievable what Gannon did. Watch him, buy time, moves out of the pocket. He gets the ball to Wheatley.
This tied it right here. They win it with a field goal by Janikowski.
Coach Gannon was brilliant. I mean, it was the best game that he's played since I've been with him. Improvisation, his ability to see blitzes. He made 3 great audibles today. Got hit in the head a couple times, seeing stars, hung in there, competed. Brilliant playmaking down the stretch and engineered a great 2-minute drive to win the game today.
And the struggling rookie kicker, Janikowski, comes through this time, 26 seconds to go, the winner from 43 yards out. The Chargers blow a 10-point lead to fall to 0-7 on the season. Bills beat them in overtime.
Well, Mike Riley rotated quarterbacks, finally settled on Jim Harbaugh. Then in overtime, Harbaugh intercepted by number 20, Henry Jones, the free safety. Sets up a winning field goal attempt by Steve Christie, number 2. They had illegal procedure on the one that he missed before this. He comes back on the field, drills it from out deep. Doug Flutie, by the way, subbed for an injured Rob Johnson in overtime to get them down for that winning field goal.
And hooked up with Eric Moulds to set up the winner. So Flutie playing the hero role again. And the Rams are now 6-0, beating the Falcons for the 2nd time this season. They had everything going. Falk was over 200 yards. And again, Warner.
Warner's unbelievable. Here he goes out the team. And this is just, you know, they almost make a joke out of football. These guys are so good.
Really, too. Warner, 3 touchdown passes. And our Jill Arrington spoke with him after the game.
Well, I tell you what, we're just trying to win football games. This is a tough football game today. Great defense on the other side. You know, they made us work for everything, but we had to get every point that, we needed every point that we got today. And, you know, you got to give credit where credit's due. This whole team stepped up and played big today.
And the Rams barnstorming tour next week takes them to Kansas City. Meanwhile, Carolina falls to the Saints. New Orleans is an even 3-3, and Ricky Williams is looking sensational.
Well, this is the 4th game in a row he goes over 300 yards. And this is the first touchdown he scores for the Saints, which I didn't know. Don't blame me. I try like that, Greg.
Over 100 for the 4th time this year. And also, the Giants beat the Cowboys today as Troy Aikman was picked off 5 times against the Giants. We'll be back in a moment.
CBA Sports presentation of the NASDAQ.com halftime report is sponsored by NASDAQ.com, the information source for the serious investor.
Well, after a disappointing loss last week at home, the Jets have jumped out to a 24-10 halftime lead. Armin is with head coach Al Groh.
Your thoughts on what has to happen in the second?
We need to play better. That's our mantra in this half. If we play better than we did in this half, then we'll be okay. If we just play the same, this is a very tough-minded team. We can't allow it to come to that.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right, Armin, thank you. You know, it's a tough-minded team, which has given up some turnovers, and that's really the difference in this game. What's been carrying the Jets, Phil?
Well, the Jets, I think it's just the running of Curtis Martin. What they've done, they've taken advantage of a very aggressive New England defense that's trying to get up the field and get to the quarterback. Curtis Martin's cutting underneath him. That's why he had such a successful first half running the football.
81 yards in the first half for Curtis Martin. And there's no telling what might happen with these Jets when their wide receivers get involved, Phil. Dedrick Ward, no receptions in the first half. Wayne Corbett, 1 catch for 5 yards. The Jets get the football to start the half. From the 6 is Kevin Williams. Up the middle across the 30 to the 33-yard line. 27-yard return, and the numbers from the first half should be interesting. 150 total yards for the Jets to 134, but the big difference in the game right now, the turnovers and the points that the New York Jets have garnered off those turnovers.
Well, they've taken advantage of the turnovers, but the Jets, you know, when you watch their offense, even their last scoring drive, Greg, it's work. You know, they had a couple penalties. The draw plays or the deception plays are catching New England off guard.
Testaverde going to throw. Martin in the flat, inside of a block, and out to the 40-yard line. And that's the kind of pass, excuse me, Phil, that's the kind of passes that Vinny Testaverde has been throwing today.
Well, Craig James was right, and he said that the New York Jets are working underneath. Curtis Martin running, short passes, a screen play there when both of these teams, reverses, draw plays, and screens. They both run a lot of them, so if you're a defender, you got to be careful who you chase because the ball might be coming back the other way.
You saw Curtis Martin's numbers. Where would the Jets be without him so far this afternoon? 8-yard pickup on that reception, and it's 2nd and 2. Martin, first down and more, 45, 47-yard line. Ted Johnson, Bobby Hamilton with the stop.
And, you know, you get so many things going, Greg. We talk about it. You've seen so many different plays from the Jets. Look from the umpire's camera on his hat. Boy, nice job. Richie Anderson coming in, making a good block. Kevin Mawai, and good hard running by Curtis Martin. But Dan Henning, he's got a good flow going. He's keeping the defense off guard, doing a little bit of everything. And there's Coach Henning. And what did Bill Belichick say? Hey, the Jets are about a lot of different plays and a lot of formations. So you just got to understand what they're trying to do and not be fooled by all the window dressing.
Corbett coming around, this time finds a man waiting for him, and he's tripped up by Willie McGinnis.
Well, see, you learn. You over-pursue in the first half, and that's what you got to go in the locker room and tell yourself. Okay, everybody's going away. Willie McGinnis, number 55, says don't chase it. It's coming back, and he is right. You hear defensive coordinators or coaches say it all the time. Don't be a hero. Don't go out there and try to make the plays. Just do your job, and the plays will happen.
How many times this year have we heard players say that, oh, we're all out there trying to do too much. All we have to do is do what we're supposed to do. 2nd and 13. Quick pass, far side. That's complete to Cole. Cole, midfield, still fighting to the 47 to the 46-yard line of New England.
Oh, I got to laugh. I tell you, Greg, I got to laugh because, you know, New England's right. There's just a lot of plays that come at you. Just look what we've done so far in the second half. A couple screens, a reverse. This time, Wayne Corbett blocks on the outside. Oh, man, Kevin Mawai, what a good job coming out from the center position and making a block. And, yeah.
Vinny Testaverde has completed 8 consecutive passes now, and it's 3rd and 3. The Patriot crowd imploring their defense to put the stops on him. Martin, short of the first down. Just across the 45. He appears to be about a yard shy.
I wanted to say, Greg, before the snap, well, here comes the double reverse pass. You know, because
the only play we haven't seen today.
We've seen everything else. And then look, Al Groh trying to decide what he wants to. Got to punt it. Why gamble? You're up right now. You're up 2 touchdowns. And New England's offense, besides one pretty good drive, they haven't sustained anything. So make them go along the length of the field and string together about 10 or 12 good plays.
Troy Brown deep. Tupa aims for the sideline. Fair catch called for. And Troy Brown steps out of bounds after a 35-yard punt. Ball will be at about the 9-yard line. Well, here's something you can definitely say. Thus far this afternoon, the Patriots have been miserable on first down.
And that's the down where you have the best advantage on a defense because they don't know if you're going to run or throw it.
Bledsoe keeps, throws, sideline. That is complete and out of bounds. Just about the 26-yard line. That'll help that effort. Troy Brown with an 18-yard gain on the play. First down, New England. And let's check in with Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You know, I talked to Coach Belichick. It's pretty much too much Curtis Martin, too many mistakes, and too many turnovers. He said we got to cut down on those mistakes, and we got to slow down Curtis Martin to have any chance in the second half. Back to you.
All right, Armin. The pitch for Falk. Falk, left side, dragged down from behind by that man, Abraham. Who's he remind you of, Phil?
Charles Haley. If you can remember him playing for the 49ers and Dallas Cowboys. The first time I saw him, John Abraham, I said, he's almost the same body type, except he's faster. You know, he could just run faster.
6'3", 250 pounds. The Jets drafted him 13th overall. 5 wide receiver on 2nd and 10.
21.
Here comes the blitz. There goes Bledsoe. John Abraham is the man.
Well, I thought the Patriots would learn in the first half when they went to the 5 wide receivers and they spread it out. They were not protecting Drew Bledsoe. And again, when you're up there, you've got to look and see who's the most dangerous person on the New York Jets front when they're rushing the passer. I know who it is. There he is.
94.
I'll tell you who else knows. Drew Bledsoe knows, too.
3rd and 17. Falk and Carter in the backfield to help protect, and Bledsoe's under their gun again, and down he goes again. Mo Lewis this time, and the boos come down from the stands.
Well, what happens when you play the New York Jets a lot of times? Why guys come free, blitzers and defensive linemen? Because a lot of people just stand around. This time, Mo Lewis standing in the back, he comes in, and oh, what a move. Kevin Falk goes down to cut him. Mo Lewis, being the athlete he is, just goes right over him for the sack.
This is reminiscent of the protection problems the Patriots had early in the season, in the midst of their 4-game losing streak.
You can't go down and cut athletes like Mo Lewis. You got to stand up and hit him in the face.
Johnson's kick. Ward from the 46. Diving forward to the 40-yard line. Excellent field position for the Jets. 38-yard punt and a 6-yard return. It's 8:53 to play in the third quarter. 8:53 to play in the third quarter. The Jets with a 24-10 lead on New England. An excellent field position at the 40-yard line. Martin alone back in the backfield has been the workhorse today. Testaverde going to go deep. Incomplete, overthrew Dedrick Ward. And Otis Smith was with him step for step.
Now, you know, the Jets can line up and do that about any play they want. That's not like a surprise. At any time they want to go deep, they can throw it out there. If you have faith in your wide receiver against Otis Smith or Ty Law, then take a chance, because they're daring you to every single time.
Still at this stage of the game, Wayne Corbett with 1 reception, you would generally feel, boy, you've got a great opportunity to win if you're holding Wayne Corbett to that kind of production. Curtis Martin, right side, can't shake a tackle. Lawyer Malloy with the stop after a 1-yard gain. We remind you to get online and see what Pete Carroll had to say in his NFL.com game analysis piece, only on NFL.com.
You know, Greg, I would agree with you, that statement about Wayne Corbett, except to me, always the most important part of a football game is who's winning the war. In other words, the big guys. So when Curtis Martin is back there running and he's having success, to me, that is the most important part.
3rd and 9. Testaverde with time over the middle. Coles inside the 25-yard line and a first down. This young man coming up big, just as Vinny Testaverde predicted that he would.
Yeah, that's playing big, Greg. Inside, he's going to go across the middle. You're going to see Wayne Corbett come underneath him. Defense kind of goes towards Wayne Corbett a little. That opens up the hole inside. Look at that big space. And also, Coles knows he knows in the NFL, when you catch it over the middle, protect yourself, because safeties and defenders from the other side are going to be coming towards you.
The young man came into this game today with 3 catches worth 52 yards. He's got 5 today. On first down, Martin. Nothing there.
Yeah, Greg, the other thing so far we've noticed, or I've noticed here in the second half, the Jets coming out every time, and they're letting the play clock run down to 1 or 2 seconds before they snap it. It's almost like they talked about it in the locker room. Look, we got a 2-touchdown lead. When we get things moving, take your time, cut down the possessions. In other words, by doing that, you're going to take the Patriots, you're going to probably take 1 possession of the game away from them, less chance to come back.
You see the play clock lower left, Testaverde calling signals. And gets this one off with 3 seconds on the clock. Testaverde throws sideline, has his man, and that's Dedrick Ward out of bounds.
Boy, that's a nice job. Now, Greg, we've talked about They can't throw the football down the field. The receiver's not getting open. Testaverde not getting time. So what do? Man coverage. Roll him out. It allows him to get extra time. The receivers now can get down the field, make a move, and that's why Dedrick Ward was wide open.
That's Dedrick Ward's first catch of the day.
Boy, did you hear the crowd as he caught the ball? They had a little like, ooh. It's because it was against Ty Law. So the crowd is really focused on number 24 and who he's covering.
The pitch for Martin. Penalty marker is down in the backfield as Martin is ridden out of bounds by Law and Chris Slade. And a holding call against the Jets will bring this back.
Holding, 71, offense, it's declined. Second down.
Left guard Kerry Jenkins, and the Patriots will turn the penalty down. You know, I thought Ty Law had one of the better lines when we were talking to him yesterday. We were talking about covering Wayne Corbett. He says, well, he runs choice routes. It means that he can choose where he wants to go, and it's very difficult. He says, even grandma can get open on those once in a while.
Well, he's right. When you put any wide receiver against any defensive back and you give him the option to run anywhere on the field, basically from the middle, it is tough to cover him. That's why you need help sometimes.
Martin picks his way across the 10 to about the 7. Malloy in on the tackle again.
Greg, I'm sorry. I would have taken that holding penalty. I would have drove him back 10 yards. You know, the New England decides to decline it. You drive him back. You're going to make him throw. You can get to the quarterback. Maybe he makes a mistake. You don't take the penalty. Allows the Jets to run it. Misdirection again. They pick up some good yards. And now, even if they don't get something here, it's a short field goal.
Meanwhile, the clock continues to move. We come up on 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Testaverde and the Jets with a 3rd and 6. They need the 1-yard line for a first down. Straight ahead, Anderson appears to have a first down. Let's see where they spot it.
Well, that just, you know, what that play, why it's so good. It just comes out of nowhere.
You were just telling me a little while ago, well, let's see, what are all the plays that the Jets have run, and here's a new wrinkle.
Look at Curtis Martin. They think, look at that. Look at Ted Johnson chasing Curtis Martin to the outside. Richie Anderson gets the football so few times that it does catch the defense by surprise. Teddy Bruschi has no chance to fill the hole. Well, that is good, powerful running.
They are short of a first down.
Boy, this is interesting. They're going to stay in there and go for it. You know, you're up 14. The field goal puts you up 3 scores.
But the field position is awfully good, even if you don't kick it and you don't make it.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is I'm a coward. I'd kick it. You know, I just look at this, Greg. 4 minutes and something to go. New England's not moving the football. To score 3 times, pretty hard to do.
Now, when you were playing, wouldn't you go to the coach and say, oh, come on, I can get that?
Oh, no. I was well trained. I knew situations that I would think of it just like this.
4th and inches. Martin, touchdown. Third touchdown of the day for Curtis Martin.
Well, when you get in situations like this, Kevin Malloy, nice job of blocking inside, and a really good job by Curtis Martin seeing the hole, and Al Groh knew it was the right call all the time.
John Hall for the extra point. Right through the uprights. Curtis Martin ties a career high with 3 touchdowns today. The Jets 31-10. Back in 1996, Curtis Martin scored 3 times against the Miami Dolphins as a member of the Patriots. This marks the first time he has scored 3 touchdowns as a member of the New York Jets.
You know what? We say this many times. I've never said it on the air because we never get to it. But you think if is New England second-guessing themselves about Curtis Martin leaving here? He would have changed the fortunes of this franchise.
Penalty marker flies as the ball goes out of bounds.
15-yard line.
Well, and as you bring that up,
the kickoff out of bounds. The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line.
another look at the touchdown for Curtis Martin, and we'll talk a little bit more about New England's fortunes since he left the area when we come back. We welcome you back to Foxborough. 4:09 to play here in the third quarter, and the Jets have extended their lead to 31-10 behind that man, who is at 98 yards and counting. Bledsoe has his man across midfield, and that's Tony Simmons, and that'll be a first down for the Patriots. 14-yard pickup on the play. Phil, you were talking about, do you think New England is regretting that idea, that move about letting Curtis Martin get away? He had 14 100-yard games as a member of the Patriots. Since he is gone, the Patriots have had 6 100-yard rushing games, and that covers 38 games. Bledsoe has time, throws this side, and it was up high, and Terry Glenn couldn't come down with it.
You know, Greg, just to finish your point about Curtis Martin, you know what he does? There's a couple things. One, he's durable. He can catch it. He runs tough inside. But the biggest thing of all, he just makes players feel good. If you're an offensive lineman, you feel good. He gives you hope. If I just get on my guy and stay there for a little bit, Curtis Martin will take advantage of it. And that's what he really brings to a football team as a running back that sometimes is overlooked.
Bledsoe tripped up. Penalty marker is down as he flipped it away. John Abraham in the backfield again.
Well, I was surprised New England hasn't at least lined up in some formations to have a tight end release and be in the way of John Abraham.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 78, offense is declined. Third down.
That's Bruce Armstrong, the 14-year veteran out of Louisville.
Well, just right away, you can tell there's the hand to the face. But just almost immediately, right from the snap of the ball, Abraham is getting the angle on Bruce Armstrong. So right away, he's got to resort to holding on to away from the quarterback.
That's the first penalty call today on either offense. Bledsoe, another marker is down as he throws and completes inside the 30-yard line to Troy Brown. And Brown twists forward to the 25 after a 22-yard gain. And let's check the penalty. Here's Johnny Greer. It's going to be against New England.
Boy, I tell you, what about the Jets and their first-round draft picks this year? Sean Ellis, number 92, and John Abraham. They're changing the defense.
Personal foul, shot block. Number 44, offense. Still third down.
That's the fullback, Harold Shaw.
Well, Harold Shaw must come in and block. One of the defensive linemen. Here's 44. Let's see what he does. He's engaged. That time a little unlucky, Harold Shaw is. Damian Woody's blocking him, gets his hands on him, then he goes below the waist for the block.
Third and a bunch. The screen is sniffed out. Kevin Falk is brought down by Ernie Logan. And here come the boos. Bledsoe has been throwing and throwing and throwing, and you know what, Phil? New England has 29 yards rushing on the afternoon.
Well, they don't have much choice now. You're down 21 points. But again, Greg, just to say, when you have a defensive line that can pressure the passer, look what it does for your whole defense.
Dedrick Ward from the 23. Cuts back, falls across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. 39-yard punt, 8-yard return, 2:26 to play in the third. This blimp is named Trump and is based on the East Coast. First down, Jets 30-yard line. Testaverde batted down as he got rid of it. Appeared to be a screen forming for Curtis Martin. Both Ted Johnson and Andy Katzenmoyer were in on Testaverde. We were talking with Al Groh last night, and one of the things that he said was you learn a lot about your team this time of the year, about how they react after they've lost games, about winning and losing, and just how that impacts your team overall.
Yeah, I think the big thing he says he's learned about his team, that they can play in close games and that they can win them. That's what excites him, because he knows in this league he's going to play in a lot of close games.
Movement and penalty markers fly.
But you know, Greg, they win those close games, but he's prepared them, and that's what he's taught them to do too.
84, offense, still second down.
Penalty is on Fred Baxter. Well, we were interested in his take on whether that loss to Pittsburgh Steelers last week was a disappointment. And he said, well, you know, there are a lot of teams in this league who are very, very much alike, and whether they win or lose, that swings on just one or two plays in the game, and they aren't that far apart.
Yeah, in other words, he said, don't be fooled by the records. So Pittsburgh was 1-3 when they came in to play the Jets. He knew they were equal to them, and if you don't play well, you're not going to win.
Pitch to Curtis Martin. And a penalty marker is down. Now, this has suddenly become a penalty-filled game.
Well, it's going to get tough to block this New England defense up front, I would think. They're desperate. They got to take some chances, and you got to attack the football, so makes it hard for offensive linemen to sustain blocks.
Here's Johnny Greer.
Holding, 74, offense.
That would be the right tackle, Ryan Young. So based on what we've said, Phil, you'd have to say that Al Groh is probably very pleased with the way his team has reacted to a loss that I think most figured the Jets come out of the gate 4-0, and you figure you're going to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have had a tough time, and you're going to take them on at home, and then you lose by a very convincing score. Second and 25. Martin looking for running room, gets a couple, and not much more. Clock continues to run. We check in with Jim Nance in New York. Jim.
All right, thank you, Greg. The Broncos have some breathing room thanks to Mike Anderson. Beautiful piece of running here, 27-10. But here's the update for you, Greg and Phil. Rob Johnson, separated shoulder, the Bills quarterback, out 2 to 4 weeks. Doug Flutie will be the starter next week. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim, thank you.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that about Rob Johnson, but when you're a quarterback and you run around that much, you are putting yourself at risk, and finally he wore down where he did get hurt.
Quick pass, complete to Cole. And Cole's out of bounds, but well short of the first down. Ty Law drove him out.
Well, I think that's some good play calling by the Jets. Take no chances. Just run some deceptive plays, screens. Try to run Curtis Martin outside, things like that. Make New England get the ball and drive it down the field on you 3 times to get a tie.
One minute exactly remaining here in the third. Troy Brown stands at his own 35-yard line for the punt from 2 punts. Poor punt, bounces short of the 50-yard line. Brown on the run. Across the 50 to about the 47-yard line. Gerald Sowell with yet another special teams tackle after an 8-yard return. And we remind you, next Sunday, the NFL on CBS highlights regional action in one matchup. Patriots travel to Indianapolis to play Peyton Manning and the Colts, or the Buffalo Bills will try to slow Randy Moss and the Vikings, or Eddie George and the Tennessee Titans go head-to-head with the Baltimore Ravens, or Ricky Waters trying to spark the Seahawks against the Oakland Raiders. We ask you to check your local listings, beginning with the NFL Today. That's next Sunday here on CBS. Patriots starting in New York territory for the first time today from the 47-yard line. Ball up the middle, 45 to the 43-yard line. And the clock moving with a half a minute to play. You have to figure that, Phil, is just a changeup, because Drew Bledsoe is going to have to go back to the air.
Yeah, but you still have time to keep throwing those changeups in there, Greg. Because a run that catches the defense by surprise can pick up 15 or 20 yards.
Bledsoe steps inside the rush, and that throws incomplete to the near side. Brian Cox applying the pressure. It'll be 3rd and 6.
I know this is not the best offensive line in the league with John Abraham limping off. You know, Al Groh told us a few weeks ago that he likes to keep John Abraham fresh and doesn't give him a lot of snaps until the 4th quarter. But when you play as well as he's been playing, it's hard to keep him off the field. You got to get him in there to see what he can do.
Over the middle, that's complete for yardage. Here goes Terry Glenn inside the 30 and close to the 25-yard line as time runs down here in the 3rd quarter. 17-yard pickup, and that's the end of the 3rd with the score. The Jets 31 and the Patriots 10. We'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Wind has picked up here as we begin the 4th quarter, and we approach 6:20 here on the East Coast, and John Abraham being tended to after he limped off the field. 5 wide receivers for the New England Patriots as they go to work. Bledsoe goes down again. Sean Ellis, who was picked exactly 1 slot ahead of John Abraham at number 12 overall.
Number 92, Sean Ellis on the outside, working on Bruce Armstrong. And Bruce Armstrong, think about it. He's been getting beat outside all day long by John Abraham. Sean Ellis, a different type of rusher. Armstrong protecting the outside. He pushes him, goes right underneath him.
6 sacks of Bledsoe today by the Jets. Bledsoe carries out the play fake, and he goes down. There's number 7. And Brian Cox led the way, along with Shane Burton, and we check in again with Jim Nance in New York. Jim.
Well, Greg Edgerrin James is having his biggest day as a pro, 174 yards rushing, and that is his 3rd touchdown, and the Colts have doubled up Seattle. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim. Meanwhile, the Patriots are back all the way to the Jet 36-yard line.
This makes you understand why the Patriots, why they run the football sometimes, even though they don't get a lot of yards, because they got to dictate the pace of the game. When it gets fast like this, they can't protect the quarterback.
This is a 3rd and 20. Gone. Bledsoe goes, and it is incomplete at the goal line. Marcus Coleman was there to deflect the ball from Troy Brown.
Now that time they kept people in to protect Drew Bledsoe, but the Jets are in the perfect zone here. Marcus Coleman's there. You see the safety Scott Frost coming over the top. Marcus Coleman didn't go for the inside fake. Boy, Terry Glenn, good job of attacking the football. Almost goes up and gets it.
We watched him in practice Friday, Phil. He didn't drop 1 pass all day long. 4th and 20. Bledsoe going for it out of the shotgun. He throws over the middle, intercepted. Victor Green, his 2nd of the day, down the sideline with blockers in front of him, and Green finally brought down by Tony Simmons. 13:33 to play, a 37-yard return by Victor Green. Let's take a look at that interception as Drew Bledsoe very despondent on the sideline.
He was very upset on the sideline, and here's why. He's going to take a shot down the field. He wants Tony Simmons, here he is, to cut in front of the safety. He doesn't, and I'll tell you what, he was irate on the sideline. So Tony Simmons, I can read his lips. And you know what? I understand what he's saying. He took a chance. The chances are it was going to be intercepted, but you got to go in there and fight for it if you're the receiver.
Curtis Martin running room right side and stays inbound. Mark is all the way inside the 35-yard line. Ty Law made the tackle, but not until Martin tacked on another 21 yards.
And I noticed on the sideline when I looked over there, I could see Drew Bledsoe still very upset. And I saw Bill Belichick go and talk to him, so I'm just speculating, but I think what he was telling him, we're going to change quarterbacks maybe.
Today marks the first time this season that Bledsoe has been intercepted twice in a game. He came in with 9 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions. Richie Anderson the 30 to about the 29-yard line.
And to make matters worse for New England, it has changed the weather dramatically. And you were right, Greg. I said the wind's not blowing. Well, the game is not over because it has picked up here in the last 10 to 15 minutes and just makes it tougher to come from behind.
Clock continues to move. 12:20 to play, and Bledsoe still having a conversation on the sideline with Tony Simmons. Although this one a little more calm.
Oh, yeah. You know, look, it's a competitive game. You got to yell at your teammates every once in a while. They understand it.
The pitch for Martin. Martin tries to turn the corner, is knocked out of bounds at about the 28-yard line by Lawyer Malloy.
Another new play, a little option play. Except Vinny didn't carry it down the line enough. But it is, you know, I got to tell you what, it's you got to give the Jets credit, and Dan Henning especially, coming in here, and they just didn't line up and overpower the Patriots. They just did a little bit of everything, and it just gets to a point. If you're a defender, it's like, what do you chase? Because he just gives you a lot of shadows. What's real? The Jets offense just catches you off guard a lot of times.
This is 3rd and 5. Testaverde rolling. Now penalty marker flies as he throws incomplete downfield. No one there. And it's going to be a hold against the Jets. I'll tell you what they haven't done, Phil. The option pass from Curtis Martin that won the game down in Tampa. We even saw the Patriots practicing against that on Friday.
And they had somebody throwing it through it almost as bad as Curtis Martin.
But we still have 11:26 to play.
Holding, 68, offense. It's decline. 4th down.
You can hear the wind blowing. It. Penalties on Kevin Mawai, who has played a terrific football game out here today.
Boy, he has. Kevin Mawai, he's a little different from most centers in the league. He's so big. A lot of times the centers are a little undersized compared to the other linemen, but a power blocker inside, and what's really impressive, he leads the sweeps and he's a lead blocker on a lot of the screens, and we've heard it a few times. He is, I think, the best center in football right now.
Conditions are gusty. Hall to attempt a 46-yarder, and it sails left. Tough conditions to kick a long field goal tonight. 11:22 to play here in the 4th, and the Jets lead is still 31-10. As we come back to play, Drew Bledsoe is still the quarterback for the Patriots, and he comes out throwing over the middle. That's complete, and that'll be a 1st down. Eric Bjornsson across midfield and into Jets territory, and it appears the Patriots will go. No, they're going to huddle up.
They faked you out. You know, I speculated they were going to take Drew Bledsoe out just because I saw Bill Belichick go and talk to him, and he got so upset that I thought, well, that's got to be the reason why.
Kevin Falk. You know, it just occurs to me, Phil, when we were watching practice, Charlie Weiss was screaming and yelling at Tony Simmons because he gave up on a long pass downfield. And we were kind of standing there on the sideline kind of laughing and go, well, no, Charlie Weiss is taking this pretty seriously.
Well, yeah, I think that, well, Bill Belichick is a coach. They coach hard. They correct the players on the field, and they don't do something they like.
Over the middle, there's Tony Simmons, and Simmons grabs it inside the 30-yard line, and it's a 1st down.
Now they're going to go hurry up. See if the Patriots can get a score here. They don't have to rush and go crazy here. Just get a score, pressure the Jets to keep playing the game. That's what you want to do.
From the shotgun, with time, and throws it complete. Bjornsson heading to the sideline. Roman Pfeiffer drags him down, and we have a marker down.
Personal foul, face mask, number 56, defense.
Pfeiffer, the guilty party.
Well, that's a nice, for the New England Patriots, got his hand on the face mask, did not let go. Anytime you keep it on there for a prolonged period of time, it doesn't matter if you're pulling or what. It's going to be a personal foul for 15 yards.
So 1st down from the 13-yard line. The Patriots have advanced quickly downfield. Bledsoe throws for the end zone, nobody there. Second down.
Yeah, you know, you got to sit here, Greg, and you think back to what we kind of started the game with. We talked about Brian Cox saying, "Oh, the Jets are fragile." You know, they were down this week, no energy, and well, it just goes to show, which we hear all the time from coaches. What do they tell us? We go, "Well, coach, are you ready for the game?" I don't know. You just can't predict how certain things are going to happen, and you can't tell from practice a lot of times what your team is feeling or how it's going to perform in the game.
Bledsoe with the keeper up the middle, gets a first down, gets a touchdown. How's that for the unexpected?
Boy, that was the old goose play. Walk up behind the center. Damian Woody, they must have worked on it. No snap count. They get rid of it quick. Look at that. Nobody in front of Drew Bledsoe. 6'5", about 240 pounds. He uses that size to his advantage to score.
His first career running touchdown in his 113th career game. Well, patience is a virtue, isn't it? The extra point is good. 9:38 to play, and the Patriots jump right back with an impressive drive, and that old running back, Drew Bledsoe, gets himself a touchdown. Only a minute 44 seconds to go 63 yards, and Drew Bledsoe caps it with a 13-yard run, and it's 31-17. They're lining up as if there may be an onside kick.
Well, I do not, if they onside kick it, I do not agree with this. A lot of time left.
And they're not going to.
There you go.
Lee Johnson is the one who kicked it off. At the 21-yard line, Dwight Stone. Stone across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. And let's go back to Drew Bledsoe's first career touchdown run.
Yeah, look at it. This is why they do it. Nobody inside, so they must have known the situation could come up. And look at Drew Bledsoe. He says, "Damian Woody, get out of my way." And uses that size to go ahead and score a touchdown. And it brings you back. He just threw a tirade on the sideline yelling at Tony Simmons. And it really just shows you Drew Bledsoe, the perception used to be this guy maybe is soft, all that. That is just so untrue now. He's big, he's tough, he plays hard, and he's very competitive.
Personifies the definition of an on-field leader. Curtis Martin straight ahead for a couple. And Teddy Bruschi with the stop after a 3-yard gain. It's 2nd and 7.
You know, I just remember when we talked about it before they scored, Greg, just go down there and make the Jets keep playing the game, because when you make the other team have to come out and do something, they have a chance of making a mistake. And I learned that, you know, from Bill Parcells. Keep the pressure on, no matter how you do that. So, right, Jets over there thinking we need to pick up a first down.
Clock continues to move. We are at 8:55 to play here in the fourth quarter. Testaverde to throw. Far side. Complete Quebec. At midfield, it's a first down. Only his second reception of the day. That one good for 16 yards.
Well, Wayne Corbett waits to the end of the game to come alive, and what they do this time, they block everybody up. And look at Corbett against Otis Smith. And Otis Smith, of course, he's got a back pedal. He's by himself, and Corbett is running full speed towards the outside. The protection allows Wayne Corbett to get wide open.
Corbett 2 catches for 21 yards today. And that was Vinny Testaverde's longest completion of the afternoon. Curtis Martin dodges one tackler, can't dodge the other.
But I'll tell you what, that completion to Wayne Corbett was big. It enabled the Jets to run more time off the clock, and it changes field position. So even if New England stops them here, they're going to have to probably go 80 yards at least to score another touchdown.
Oh, Wayne Corbett has also been having a pretty rough afternoon out there on the field today. He has taken his licks. 2nd and 13. The ball at the Jets' 48-yard line. under 7.5. Testaverde throws out here in the flat. That's complete to Richie Anderson. And Anderson inside the 45-yard line of the New England Patriots. Lawyer Malloy, who's had a busy afternoon, comes up for the stop.
Well, this is just a nice drive by the Jets, though, Greg. Getting that big first down. Now they got a chance. 3rd and short. The options are whatever they want. They can throw screens, run a draw, throw a short pass.
You know, if we're looking for good analysis of football these days, Brian Cox gave it to us last night. It's a heads or tails league.
Yeah.
You're either on your head or you're on your tail.
And
3rd and 4. You see how far the Jets have to go for a first down. Testaverde pulls it down, tries to run, isn't going to get it, and the Jets will have to kick it away. Willie McGinnis got the first hand on it.
Well, I thought the New York Jets were going to run the same play that they did to Wayne Corbett earlier. Look, everybody's staying in, the running back staying in, the protection is there, but nobody gets open down the field, and then finally it breaks down, and Ted Johnson and Willie McGinnis get the sack.
We've had 10 sacks today. The Jets with 7. That was the 3rd by the Patriots. Troy Brown standing inside his own 10. Takes it at the 10. And is smacked down at about the 17-yard line. 33-yard punt, 8-yard return, 5:37 to play. Night has fallen here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. 5:37 to play, and Bill Belichick trying to look for some answers. His team trails the Jets 31-17. And Bledsoe from the shotgun. Slides to the left, throws. Kevin Falk out of the backfield, and he is met and hit at the 23-yard line by James Farrier.
Greg, just to go back to that last Jets drive, they only got 1 first down, but it took 4 minutes and 1 second, and they got New England backed up inside their 20.
2nd and 5. Bledsoe down the seam, and that's incomplete. Eric Bjornsson, the tight end, was the intended receiver, and Mo Lewis was closer to the football than Bjornsson was.
Yeah, that's a throwaway. Just throw it away and wait for the next play, because he knows it's 4 down. So you got 2 more chances. Don't take the chance yet. In other words, don't throw one down the middle and just hope. Try to make plays, because you still have a chance to get 2 more possessions.
With 5 wide receivers on 3rd and 5. Bledsoe over the middle. Intercepted. That's Mo Lewis. Lewis picking up blockers left side. Cuts outside and out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Lewis's first interception of the season. And a little pushing and shoving involving Drew Bledsoe, who was less than pleased about his 3rd pick of the day.
Well, I understand why he's upset, but in that situation, trying to be aggressive as you throw the football, watch it come underneath. The football is just a little too high. Mo Lewis, when it's deflected over the middle, when it goes up in the air, it's almost always an interception.
And Al Grove, you know, that he's thrilled with the kind of defense that they've put up, and meanwhile, a little pushing and shoving with Ray Mickens and Drew Bledsoe. Got a feeling Drew didn't appreciate an attempted block downfield.
Well, Mo Lewis, impressive running that football back, too.
From the 13-yard line, Curtis Martin to the 10. When Bill Belichick is asked after the game, he will point to 5 Patriot turnovers.
And that was just a shot of Mo Lewis, and you saw him sitting on the bench, a guy that does not get a lot of credit or publicity, not one that goes out and seeks it either. But Al Gross says, hey, the guy is athletic. He's powerful. He plays the position that most linebackers do not play in this league anymore. That means he lines up square to the, most of the time, to the tight end and just takes him on. And he's one of the reasons why it's hard to run the football against the New York Jets.
Richie Anderson straight ahead. Well, Brian Cox told us last night, Mo Lewis isn't making as many plays as you would expect, but offenses are game planning against him.
Well, they're not going to run the football at him. Hey, that's what you're supposed to do. Run away from the good players.
Patriots burn the first of their timeouts and stop the clock with 4:05 to play here in the fourth quarter.
You know, Greg, Mo Lewis has been active today. Knocks the pass up in the air that allows Victor Green to get the touchdown. And how about this? Little offense, that's right. We got us a new slash. Sacks the quarterback, intercepts the pass. I think you're probably looking at the AFC Defensive Player of the Week right there after you see that package. And as I see it all together, I go, wow, he really did have a good day. But that shows you, you know, in a day of specialty players, in other words, third down receivers, you know, the third down halfback, pass rushers, Mo Lewis stays in there every down, rushes the passer, can play the run, cover guys down the field, and a new role today. Third down running back, fourth down running back.
Pro Bowler in 1998 and 99 as a first-degree black belt in karate and taekwondo. It's gone. Testaverde throws. End zone incomplete, and a penalty marker is down. And let's see who this goes against. Marcus Coleman was there on the receiving end.
Marcus Coleman, and as a receiver, and why they put him in,
it's going to be against Coleman.
Yeah, he stopped the interception, but they put him in there for the jump ball. They did it earlier in the year when they threw the Hail Mary against the Buffalo Bills. Testaverde just doesn't get it out there far enough, but you got to remember, Otis Smith is about the same size as Marcus Coleman, and he used to be teammates, so he knew why he was in there and what they were going to do.
And Coleman having to reach over. Pretty good play by Marcus Coleman.
Excellent play.
Saves the field goal attempt upcoming here by John Hall of 28 yards. Hall's kick. Not the prettiest field goal in the world, but it went through.
So there's a little wind down on the field right now.
That ups the Jets' lead to 34-17 with 3:56 to play here in the fourth quarter. And tonight on CBS, is it true that pilots who don't get enough sleep fall asleep at the controls of jet airliners? 60 Minutes tonight. Then the season premiere of Touched by an Angel with guest star Richard Chamberlain, followed by the CBS Sunday movie Yesterday's Children. Jane Seymour stars in the haunting true story of a woman convinced that her dreams are memories from a past life. That's all tonight here on CBS.
Well, Greg, watch this field goal here. Greg Spires gets through there, number 94. Oh, he nicks it. There we go. That's the reason why.
Wayne Corbett going, hey, we got it.
Now they didn't give any body language.
It is officially a 27-yard field goal by John Hall.
Well, tell me about that 60 Minutes now. You know, you asked, is it true? Now tell me it's not true, right? Do you know the answer?
You know, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, you are well aware that you're driving home and I'm flying today.
Yeah, I know. We got to fly every week. I don't want to hear stories like that.
From the 7-yard line, Kevin Falk. 20, 25, and down at the 26-yard line. And Gerald Sowell with yet another special teams tackle. Let's go down, Arm.
Thanks, Greg. You know, so we're only just about halfway to the season, but you see that frustration on Drew Bledsoe's face and some of his actions. As he told us, this was a huge game for the Patriots. If they could win today, they thought they had a really good shot next week in Indianapolis to go into their bye week 4-4 and really looking at a big push in the second half of the season. In many ways, this is appearing to be kind of a make-or-break game right now for the Patriots. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Armin. The Patriots really feeling they were on a roll after losing those first 4 games, and not by very large margins either, and then coming back to win the next 2. Bledsoe from the shotgun. Throws. incomplete, almost intercepted by Ray Mickens.
You know what happens, Greg, and you said it earlier, as Al Groh talked about their game against Pittsburgh. There's so many teams that are close. The team that has a little desperation on their side, and I thought that was the Jets coming in here. A little unsure, lost last week. That desperation translates to being just enough to make you better than the other team, the next week. And
pass to Eric Bjornson incomplete. I'm
sorry. The Patriots, even though they're 2-4, they got to feel better about themselves. They finally won 2 in a row, and I think we since that being up here that they felt good about what they were doing, that they were going to come out here and play a good game. But you know what? They did lose some of that desperation, and it showed in the game today.
What's your assessment of Vinny Testaverde after today? We said at the beginning of the day that there were all kinds of question marks surrounding him.
What a game plan. That's what I say about that. Dan Henning drew up a game plan that took the football out of the hands of the quarterback almost.
Bledsoe. Incomplete. Rod Rutledge was the man out there, and it'll be the punting unit coming onto the field.
Well, and when I say that, Dan Henning called plays, draws, screens, a lot of little cute things where it wasn't up to the quarterback to make reads and make tough throws down the field. They did throw it down a couple times, but it was a game plan game if I've ever seen it. It was done by the coaches for the New York Jets.
Lee Johnson to kick. Dedrick Ward is deep. Gets it away under the rush. High kick. That'll bounce at about the 35 and take a jet bounce, and it's down at the 37-yard line with 3:22 to play. 37-yard punt by Lee Johnson. So a perfect game plan for Vinny Testaverde in his physical state.
And it makes so much sense. Why didn't I figure this out before the game? Just got to get on this stuff, but it makes sense. You got a quarterback that's unsure, who got hurt last week, and you go into practice, you go, well, hey, let's don't let the game be in his hands that much. So they came out and ran a game plan like a lot of coaches do with young quarterbacks in the National Football League, and it served them well. It kept New England's defense off balance, and that was the difference.
Martin will try the right side, add a little more yardage. Midfield, 45, and out of bounds just short of the 40-yard line. The other part of that game plan, which works really well, is give the football to Curtis Martin.
Well, that's right, too. But, even with Curtis Martin, what he did, it was still well-designed, draw plays, like real slow draws sometimes the weak side that worked real well. And look at that game.
31 for 146 and 3.
And I think Vinny Testaverde said it right when they lost Keyshawn Johnson this past offseason. He goes, hey, the most valuable guy in the New York Jets, that's Curtis Martin.
Well, Curtis Martin, with that kind of yardage against a Bill Belichick defense, is really unusual, because here's a guy who has specialized in putting the clamps on terrific runners.
Now look at this. Well, that hat might not fit today, the defensive wizard, but look what they've done against everybody. Well, that's a lot.
The kind of game Edgerrin James had today. And Curtis has had himself,
well, it's
awfully good day.
Curtis Martin can run with power, even though he's not a big guy, but the best thing he does, he can make people that you don't block, he can make them miss entirely.
Not that time, as he goes down at the 45-yard line.
And maybe, Greg, that's a good example of what he does too. He knows when to give up. Don't take a beating. That's why he's been so durable, because he doesn't take those big hits and get wore down as the season goes along.
And the Jets, New England has called a timeout. They're second. They have 1 remaining, and it stops the clock with 2:23 to play.
Well, this will be a tough week for the New England Patriots now, as they come. Now you're sitting at 2-5. You're going to go down to Indianapolis and play the Colts. Hey, they're mad. You just beat them, so that you got that going against you going into the Dome. So it's going to be, boy, we heard Brian Cox talk about the Jets lose. They didn't have energy. It's going to be a tough week of practice for the New England Patriots.
The Colts went out to Seattle and spanked the Seahawks. Curtis Martin's 33 carries today are season high. It's 3rd and 13. Martin left side. Maybe a yard on the play, and the Patriots use their final timeout to stop the clock at 2:17. The only stoppage of play they'll get between now and the end of the game is the 2-minute warning. Well, this is not what Bill Belichick thought would happen.
No, I think they were very confident coming into the game, and well, if you'd asked me before the game too, I thought, boy, what a tough spot for the New York Jets. Getting beat last week, coming up here, playing a team that's hot and all those things, and well, they turned things around. They turned it around from the effort they gave last week.
166 yards on the ground today. Troy Brown is deep for this kick from Tupa. Movement on the offensive line. Jet players point at the Patriots. Patriots point at the Jets.
That's what I used to do to my brothers when my mom said, "Who did that?" He did. I'll point to the other guy.
Michael Bishop warms up.
Neutral zone infraction, number 44, defense. Still 4th down.
That's against Harold Shaw. In my family, there were no pointing fingers. It was just assumed it was me. This one will sail toward the sideline into the end zone. Doesn't reach the sideline, so it'll come out to the 20-yard line with 2:07 to play in regulation. And Drew Bledsoe is on the sideline as Michael Bishop comes onto the field to run the offense.
Well, I was kind of disappointed today. Michael Bishop, we had a chance to go to practice on Friday. In a lot of situations, they were hoping to bring him in on some 3rd down and real short situations. We only saw one today. He handed it off, but they have quite an array of plays in for him, and it's going to be fun as the year goes along to see how they use them and how successful they are.
Let's make no mistake, he can throw the football too. He's got a terrific throwing arm. Throws downfield. Oh, look at that catch right in the middle of the field by Troy Brown. That will be a first down as we hit the 2-minute warning at 1:57 on the clock. 25 yards. A little pushing and shoving on the field, but it'll be broken up. We'll take our 2-minute break at the 1:57 mark and come back to Foxborough in a moment. Foxborough Stadium from on high as night has fallen. 1:57 to play here in the 4th quarter. Michael Bishop at quarterback on first down. From his own 44-yard line, out of the shotgun. Bishop throws, that is underthrown, incomplete. For those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. I'm Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms and Armin Katayan. The Jets have this one well in hand at 34-17. We want you to know 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast. Drew Bledsoe looking on from the sideline.
Me.
It went bad early for the Patriots with turnovers, and New England never, ever recovered. Bishop gonna heave it down the far sideline. Incomplete. Terry Glenn was the receiver down there along with a couple of Jet defenders. Bledsoe's day was a tough one. As Bishop looks at a 3rd and 10. Bledsoe's 4th quarter was almost disastrous with 4 out of 12 for 38 yards, 2 interceptions, and he was sacked twice. He was sacked 7 times in all this evening.
I liked your description of Michael Bishop's pass, and Bishop heaves it, huh?
Heave? Oh, it's a heave. Bishop looks like he's going to heave another one. Oh. Incomplete. Remember Drew Bledsoe telling us he throws it as far live as he's ever seen anyone throw a football.
Yeah, in person he says he can throw it about as far as anybody I've ever seen, and it's really not the distance, it's how high he can throw it.
And Drew Bledsoe is not one of your weaker arms around the team.
No, that's true.
Minute 35 to play, and on 4th and 10.
I would have liked to see the Patriots just run some plays. In other words, give Michael Bishop just a chance to throw some normal pass plays instead of just throwing it up for grabs down the field.
4th and 10. Bishop throws out of the backfield, complete to Falk, and Falk across the 45-yard line gets enough for a New England first down. Mo Lewis dragged him down. Mo Lewis has had such a tough game out here, it has worn a hole in the seat of his pants. 12-yard pickup. Penalty marker down. And Bishop throws for the end zone. It is. Looks to be intercepted by Aaron Glenn. And if this is a holding call back in the backfield, the Jets will decline, and it'll be a touchback. And chalk up another interception for the New York Jets.
Well, the New England wide receivers, I was watching them, they're so tired, they couldn't even hardly get down there.
Holding, 63, offense is declined. First down, New York.
Joe Andruzzi, the left guard, guilty of holding, and the interception by Aaron Glenn stands.
Aaron Glenn, number 31 on the outside, smallest guy there. Goes up and gets the interception. This is like pass rushers at the end of the game. They love to get to the quarterback, and defensive backs, they want those interceptions and those jump ball.
As you're fond of saying, Aaron Glenn is listed at 5'9", 185, so you know he's smaller than that. 6th turnover of the day for the Patriots, by the Patriots, and the Jets will put this one away. Well, you know, Vinny Testaverde, that smile on his face indicates exactly how he feels inside, because as he talked to us last night, you weren't really sure of how Vinny was going to come out here today.
If you made me say yes or no, I said no, he's not going to make it through the game today. He made it sound like to us, any hit, any contact, I'm going to be out of the game. But again, the Jets game planned it. They did an excellent job. And I look at New England, what they did today, maybe they were too aggressive and went outside of what they can really do, and it backfired on them.
The final 21 seconds will wind down. And the New York Jets will go to 5-1. They come into New England and knock off the New England Patriots by a score of 34-17. Pretty good performance by the Jets, Phil. Once again, our final score, the Jets 34, New England 17. Coming up next.